You can count on us.
For a healthy salad, Bermuda-grown green leaf lettuce, only $2.99 each. XL fresh boneless sirloin pork chops, just $2.99 per pound. Crisco organic coconut oil, only $8.19 for a 27-ounce jar. For a quick meal, Uncle Ben's Country and Rice, just $2.39 for a 5-ounce box. Bluebonnet margarine sticks, only $1.79 for a 1-pound package. All stores are open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, February the 10th, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. The Bermuda Industrial Union president called for members to return to work this morning after blaming the people for not showing up in their numbers to protest the government debate on the airport deal. Jasmine Patterson brings us up to date in this report.
Certainly, it's not a day that I'm going to be proud of as the current president of the BIU.
The words of BIU President Chris Ferbert shortly before calling off the march to protest the debate of key airport legislation at the House of Assembly in a shock decision.
The call was going to be made for everybody to come, and if they came, then we would have went. And if they didn't come, then it's time to say, you know what, enough is enough. And let me tell you why, because the premier of the country would have you believe, and all politicians will have you believe that they're out there doing the people's business. Well, you tell me, what government is going to go in the House of Assembly at 5 o'clock in the morning to do people's business? Because they've been there since 5 o'clock this morning. All have been there. All of them. Every one of them in the House of Assembly as I speak. And that's to avoid being in confrontation with the people. So someone called me and told me that. I didn't take that for granted. I made a fair call. They called me back. Say, I can confirm that all the ABA members are currently in the House of Assembly right now. Now you think about it. What kind of government is supposed to be in the people's business that's going to behave like that? What do they have to hide? What? And I say this with the utmost respect. I don't blame the ABA government totally. I blame the people.
It's estimated around 150 to 200 people turned up at Union Square this morning when Mr. Ferbert went on to criticize the Speaker of the House, Randolph Horton, and the handling of MP Sylvan Richards' comments made in the House about the December 2nd pepper spray incident. He also explained that the construction of the new airport would not benefit majority of Bermudian workers.
But guess what? If you're a general labor and you got at least 480 hours in classroom training, you ain't getting the job done at the airport. So once again, they're setting us up to fail. We went from 75% Bermudians to building the airport, 75% to 25%. Now it's down to 60% Bermudian, 40% Canadian. And with this training element, I estimate now Bermudians can get on to 40%, and the foreigners can go up to 60%. Because how many brothers do you know, or brothers, particularly brothers, who are general labor, who's been working in construction for 10 years, who's got 480 hours training in classroom? How many of them? I can tell you, it need to be that many. And if they've got 20 of them, it might be one, it might be two. So that means the other 18 are going to be out of luck. And if the country can't see, if you can't see what they're trying to do to us, can't. You know what the old saying is? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Before asking union members to return to work, Mr. Ferbert said they've done what they can.
We've tried, and we tried. That's all we can ever do. But you can't simply ask the minority to carry the majority forever. At some point in time, those people who have got, as I call for them, the silent majority, they've got to be able to stand up and be counted. Because other than that, enough is enough.
A very small crowd lingered outside of Parliament for the remainder of the day after police officers began to remove the rows of barriers set up on Parliament Street shortly after 10 a.m. A police presence was still visible in the vicinity. Now, it's unclear what is next for those opposed to the proposed redevelopment of the Elif Wade International Airport. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Meantime, a futile attempt by the opposition Progressive Labour Party to block debate on the airport legislation via a motion by Shadow Attorney General Michael Scott. Still, opposition leader and Shadow Finance Minister David Burt remains hopeful the deliberations, which are expected to go well into the night, will result in MPs voting against the bill.
I do not accept the point saying that it's not something that's in the government's control. The contract that is being signed is between the government of Bermuda and the Canadian Commercial Corporation. And inside of that contract, there's Schedule 29, and that is the financial model. So if that is going to form part of the contract, and that contract is referenced at numerous times in the Airport Authority bill of which we're doing today, you cannot ask members to consider something without giving them complete information. So that is our challenge, and we will remain steadfast on that point.
It could be argued that perhaps the PLP is just delaying the inevitable.
Well, people can say you delay the inevitable. That's perfectly fine. The fact is, however, that it is our responsibility to ensure that the government is held to account. And it's our responsibility as parliamentarians to ensure that full and complete information is given. What would happen if, for some reason, there was something inside of this information that we were not aware of and that all of a sudden it came to light 4 or 5 years later? That is the reason why you have full disclosure. That is the reason why you have parliament. That is the reason why you have debates. And that is the reason why we exist inside of a democracy.
Is this motion being brought by the opposition today as a result of the discussions held with the Speaker of the House last week?
No. I mean, this was something that was on the order paper for December 2nd as well. We had intended on moving the same motion at that point in time, and the fact is that they had not provided all of the information, and so we are still missing a material section of the project agreement which deals with finances. And when we talk about the financial model is referenced inside the project agreement in numerous places. So it is difficult to understand the full responsibilities of the government of Bermuda without having a view of this financial model, which is referenced inside of the contract.
In other news, overseas territories leaders expressed concern about loss of funding once Britain leaves the EU, from which some overseas territories receive billions in financial assistance. Bermuda, however, runs no such risk. According to Premier Michael Dunkley, this country has other concerns as they relate to Brexit.
My major desire at this time would be for the UK to start to give us understanding of how things will happen and resolve some of the issues. I don't think it is appropriate if we wait until the article is triggered then to try to resolve the issues at that point in time. We would like to know what direction the UK believes they can go so we can give them our desires on how we think it would impact us and how we'd like to see it be resolved. So they've made a lot of progress in understanding the challenges they have internally, understanding the challenges they have within government, and working through the government to deal with those issues. But now the next couple of months are going to be the critical part because the articles will be triggered and then decisions have to be made.
What were the issues specific to Bermuda, again, that you spoke with her about? Because you mentioned that there were a number of issues that you spoke to her about as far as Bermuda goes.
Freedom of movement is the key for us. Bermudians have the ability now to travel and live in the UK, and they have the ability to do pretty much the same thing in Europe as well. And so, for freedom of movement for personal affairs and for business affairs is important. We're a very small jurisdiction, and we don't need to make it any harder to be successful for our people in the wider world. So we need to have that freedom still.
Elsewhere, Mr. Dunkley admitting to OBA MPs made their way to the House of Assembly earlier than usual today, perhaps in anticipation of protest action which did not materialize. Premier Dunkley saying he was happy things were such that the debate on the airport redevelopment legislation could take place without interruption.
From the most unfortunate day on December 2nd, many people have said many different things, and I believe that a lot that has been talked up about what took place that day and what would be appropriate going forward by leaders in the community has been heeded and accepted. I'll repeat again because I think it's important that I have no issue with people demonstrating, protesting in the appropriate way. But when people are elected to serve in the House of Assembly, we need to get up here and do what we have to do. And so our team is excited to be in the House today. We know it's going to be a long day, but we're committed to being here to have the robust, appropriate debate we have, and that's what the people expect from us.
And we want to hear your thoughts on today's news, plus your news, photos, and video anytime. Make sure you've liked our Facebook page on the address on your screen to get our news updates. And if you happen to miss our newscast, don't worry, it's uploaded nightly to YouTube to be viewed anytime you want. So you can watch our news on your computer, laptop, or mobile device. And we're also now available on WhatsApp, so send us feedback anytime. Stay with us, more news and tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Great for Sunday dinner, Purdue fresh whole chickens, only $2.29 per pound. For a healthy snack, imported Anjou or Bosch pears, just 99 cents each. Start the morning with Kellogg's Fruit Loops cereal, just $5.79 for a 12.2-ounce box. For a quick meal, Libby's corned beef, only $3.89 for a 12-ounce tin. Select varieties of Chobani yogurt, only $2.09 for a 5.3-ounce tub. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
2 men were today accused of related article. 18-year-old Taquan Davis from Pembroke and 18-year-old Jerome Bailey of Devonshire heading to the Supreme Court to stand trial over the charges. They were each granted bail in the amount of $10,000 with one like surety and will return to court on April the 3rd. Meanwhile, health officials tonight confirming a report of another case of someone returning to the island with the mosquito-borne Zika virus. The Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit says the person was found to be with the virus this month following 4 months of no reports of the virus. However, officials are quick to stress that so far there have been no instances of someone contracting the virus in Bermuda or of mosquitoes transmitting here. The CDC in Atlanta says Zika is transmitted to people primarily through the bite of an infected mosquito, which are the same type of mosquitoes which transmits dengue and chikungunya. Zika can also be spread through sexual relations, even if the infected person does not have symptoms at the time. Symptoms include fever, rash, joint pain, conjunctivitis or red eyes, muscle pain, and headache. The virus has been known to be carried by mosquitoes in some popular travel destinations for Bermudians, including the United States, and in the Caribbean, including Trinidad, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Jamaica. Well, in local economic news, less than positive news for local retailers as the latest government data shows overall retail sales slumped by almost 2.5% during the crucial month of December. As Tarai Trott reports, while some sectors recorded losses during the Christmas period, construction suppliers managed to come out ahead.
3 of the 7 sectors saw reductions in sales revenue, with motor vehicle stores recording the largest drop of more than 25%. Oppositely, the latest retail sales index shows building materials stores registered the biggest increase in sales receipts of nearly 2%. This was due to improved inventory and increased contract jobs. Elsewhere, returning residents to the island declared overseas purchases of $6.5 million, a decline of 4.4% when compared to December of 2015. After adjusting for the annual retail sales rate of inflation, measured at 0.9% in December, the volume of retail sales dipped by more than 3%. Sales at the island's food stores declined 0.9%, while liquor stores saw a slight jump of just over 1%. Meantime, sales revenue for apparel stores increased nearly 2%. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Police say no one was hurt when a parked bus rolled back and slammed into a parked van in Hamilton. The incident happened at around 1:30 p.m. on Thursday on Washington Street in the city and involved the bus and 2 vans. The impact of the bus crash caused the first van to hit a second parked van. The extent of damage to all 3 vehicles was unclear as of news time. And take note, the Ministry of Public Works for the rest of next week, the current 1-lane closure along North Shore Road from Bermuda Waterworks to Barker's Hill Roundabout will continue during off-peak hours to allow for road resurfacing. It should be noted that this work is weather dependent. Now turning to weather news, a beautiful Saturday in store. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast with AccuWeather. I'm meteorologist Brittany Boyer. Hopefully you have found a way to enjoy today. It's been pretty cold outside. Temperatures have been dropping all day today, so we actually reached our daytime high very early on, and now we're cooling off well into the 50s. Frontal boundary just off to our east. We've had a couple of spotty showers for today, and we'll still see a stray shower tonight as well. So let's take a look at things as we get into your current conditions here. It's going to be a cool night, but you know what? Temperatures have dropped so much already today, we're not going to see them dropping too much more as we get into the overnight hours here. Temperatures right now in the 50s, Somerset and Dockyard, also Hamilton and all the way up into St. George's. So overall, it's just been a cool end to the work week. If you have any big weekend plans, you should be good to go, but fortunately, still going to be a little bit cool as we get into Saturday. We'll take a look at the stats here. Humidity currently between 55 and 60%. The winds, they're still up there. It's been a very windy day. We had a gust as high as 40 miles per hour earlier today. Winds are out of the northwest, and right now the waves out are still pretty high, so a little bit choppy out there on the water. The waves are between 6 and 12 feet. We do still have a small craft warning in place, and that continues through tomorrow. Looking ahead at your forecast for tonight, as I mentioned, temperatures not going to change too much from where we are right now. Partly cloudy skies, breezy conditions. The winds will start to die down as we continue into the overnight hours. As I mentioned, for Saturday, it's going to be another cool day. We're not going to quite see temperatures dropping like we have seen today. So if you're doing anything outside tomorrow, just keep in mind we're only in the low 60s again. We'll have intervals of clouds and sunshine, and then temperatures will be a little bit warmer as we head into the second half of the weekend on Sunday. Here's a look at what you can expect with the marine conditions. As I mentioned, small craft warning still in place. Also going to have a small craft warning going into effect Sunday into Sunday afternoon, and getting into Monday, going to have another storm system moving into the area, and we could see some gale force winds with that on Monday. So high tide number 1 coming in at 8:06 this evening, and low tide 1 coming just after 2 a.m. All right, we'll take a look at the getaway forecast here on this Friday. Toronto, Canada. Some rain and snow showers up there. Temperatures in the 40s. New York City, they had enough snow to shovel and plow. Some places close to a foot of snow. 45 degrees there. Boston also saw over a foot of snow. So as I mentioned the other day, I think they'd probably enjoy the Bermuda weather opposed to the snowy conditions. Meanwhile, across Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad, temperatures are in the 80s and a couple of spotty showers out there. Here's a look at the extended forecast. The takeaway is that it's still a cool day on Saturday with temperatures in the low 60s. It won't be as windy outside tomorrow, and then we will have that small craft warning expiring. But then on Sunday morning, another small craft warning goes into effect. We'll be looking at a couple of spotty showers on Sunday. Better chance for steadier rain on Monday. And Monday, once again, the winds pick back up. Could see some gale force winds as we get into Monday afternoon. Temperatures will be right around 70 degrees, and then we'll drop a few degrees on Tuesday with highs right around 65 and a few scattered showers. Wednesday, temperatures near normal, right around 70 degrees with partly sunny skies. Stay up to date with the latest news and weather information by tuning into these 3 local radio stations: Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Calling all Bermudian University graduates. Have you considered a fast-paced and rewarding career in financial regulation?
As Bermuda's sole financial services regulator, the Bermuda Monetary Authority plays a key role in our success in the international business arena.
If you are driven, focused, and ready to challenge yourself, then apply to our graduate training program.
Visit bma.bm for details or check out our Facebook page.
We're accepting applications from January 3rd until March 31st.
The Bermuda Monetary Authority's graduate training program.
Challenge yourself.
Every day, a tsunami hits Bermuda. A tidal wave of information and images floods our phones, laptops, and tablets. We're awash in emails, posts, tweets, blogs, texts. As an advertiser, your message can easily get drowned out. Time to reach for the life raft. Technology changed the game, but television and radio still lead the way. Who doesn't have an all-time favorite TV ad?
Aflac, where's the beef? You can count on us.
The man, your man could smell it.
TV remains the most powerful advertising tool in the world. For immediacy and engagement, you can't beat radio. Here at Bermuda Broadcasting, we can help you reach thousands of people at the same time. You might have a new small business or run a corporation. We can customize ads to help you build awareness and attract new customers. TV and radio advertising gets results. Call me, Diane Brewer, and I'll show you how. Turning to sports, cricketers continue to shine. Track and field stars are number 1 and number 2, and basketball sports director speaks openly about the Bermuda Basketball Association. Here's Earl Basin with those stories and more in tonight's Sports Report.
Delray Rollins, the Bermuda all-rounder, was named England's Man of the Series following their 5 youth one-day international matches in their series against India. England under-19 head coach Andy Hurry is quoted as saying, "Rollins has exceeded my expectations in how he has adapted to the conditions in India." He goes on to say he's worked out a simple game plan with the bat and played with some composure and control to give himself a chance to play his strong attacking shot in the closing overs. End quote. Meanwhile, Kamal Lavrock and his ICC Americas teammates have just one more game to play in the West Indies 50-over regional tournament, but we asked him to sum up his tournament thus far.
The tour has been a learning curve for some of the players in the team, getting a taste of what cricket at a higher level would be like. Personally, I've done fairly well. I've got a good start in the first few games, and then I was able to convert it into a good score against Jamaica. Just try to keep going in form, recent form.
What would you consider being your biggest challenge thus far? Is it the fact that you're playing these high-level games so often?
Not really, because it's kind of similar to what I play in the UK, so I do have that bit of experience in the rest of the team. It's a bit challenging as far as the different lengths that the bowlers go here. Obviously, the tracks are a lot more bouncy and fast, so you don't really have as much time to make a decision on what shots to play and what decision making.
2 Bermuda track stars, Dej Miners and Shaquille Deal, are ranked 1 and 2 in the latest NCAA Division II rankings. Miners, who represents Franklin Pierce University, is ranked number 1 with a time of 1:48.70, while Dill from St. Augustine College is ranked number 2 with a time of 1:49.71. Jair Parfit-Williams and Nathan Trott's West Ham United under-23 boss, Terry Wesley, was delighted to see his team dominate their Premier League Cup clash against Leicester City, although they could only manage a 2-2 draw. Parfit-Williams came off the bench in the 83rd minute and had a shot saved, while Trott was an unused substitute. James Finnegan and his Florida Tech men's tennis teammates had a tough task on their hands as it opened the season in the Sunshine State Conference play against number 2 ranked St. Leo. Florida Tech were unable to keep up with St. Leo in the match and fell 8-1. Finnegan gave Florida Tech its only point of the day when he defeated Chatty Omis in straight sets 6-2, 7-5. Finnegan then teamed up with Majad Ashka and they went down in the number 2 doubles spot 8-5.
I'm Michaela, and this is My Minute. Today we take another look at the Bermudians working for the America's Cup. These locals are directly contributing to a fantastic and successful 35th America's Cup in just a few months' time. Nina Thompson is the travel manager for Travel Places Bermuda, the official accommodation supplier for the America's Cup. Her role includes managing accommodation needs for America's Cup staff, teams, media, regatta officials, commercial partners, and more. Ashley Martins is the office manager for ACEA and is tasked with running the office and making sure everything runs smoothly on a daily basis in Bermuda. She says the best part of her job is being able to work with inspiring individuals and says the experience is unforgettable. Christina White is a graphic designer for ACEA and is part of the design team who creates all the artwork for the America's Cup, including boat decals, AC Village banners, America's Cup Endeavor sails, and much more. She says being able to see her designs come to life on live TV is a proud moment. Look forward to meeting more Bermudians involved in the America's Cup in future episodes. I'm Michaela, and that's your Minute.
Lobomir Kotaliba, the advisor to the Secretary General of the Federation of International Basketball Association, was on island recently, and he was an official guest of the Bermuda Basketball Association. Kotaliba, who was the former FIBA sports director for 25 years, met with the Bermuda Basketball Association's executive members to find out where they stand.
The Bermuda Basketball Federation is operating in very difficult conditions. First of all, they do not have the office. Second, they do not have any paid staff. Third, they do not have a league, because that's what it is played here is, to me, not a league. And the only thing what they have is that they have an indoor court. So this is something which here already they are operating very, very difficult conditions. Second is that they have practically not any support, and this is not that I'm saying something bad. This is I simply quote the top representatives of the Olympic Committee, National Olympic Committee, and the ministry, that they are not providing any support, neither cash nor value in kind, for the federation, due to the reasons that, first of all, they do not have the money, and if they have the money, they are directing it to football and cricket. And a second reason is a little bit more theoretical, that they cannot provide any support to the organization which do not have a structure and a plan.
I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday on 41 Victoria Street in Hamilton for your home appliance and hardware needs. Sears, washers and dryers, refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, a large array of Craftsman tools and accessories, lawn and garden tools, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, barbecue grills, and much, much more. Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday. Sears, bringing Bermuda the best variety at everyday low prices.
A video has been launched on YouTube paying homage to author and playwright Brian Berlin, described as unique and prolific. The video was launched to entice interest in Bermuda's cultural landscape, and the Brian Berlin Research Center at the Bermuda College, delivering his remarks on behalf of government ahead of the video launch. Sylvan Richards Jr., the Minister of Social Development and Sports, noted he was unfamiliar with Mr. Berlin's work before his invitation to the event.
Since it, I've become a little bit familiar with his legacy and his writings, and it's inspired me to want to learn more. He seems like he had a very colorful life, just from the little bit that I've read about her recently. So I just want to encourage us as educators, myself as a member of Parliament, that we really need to promote our Bermudian heroes, I call them, because there's a generation behind us who knew nothing about this. So I'm glad to be here today to do that. And let's just heighten the awareness of Mr. Berlin and his life and his legacy.
The Brian Berlin Center for Research opened in May 2013 as a purpose-built facility to encourage and inspire emerging Bermudian writers using Berlin's literary papers and artwork, unpublished novels and poems, manuscripts, and other writings. The literary treasure trove was endowed to the college by Mr. Berlin's daughter and literary executor, Dr. Susan Berlin. Dr. Angela Berry is the co-chair of the committee.
Robert Masters and I found ourselves gazing at a sad-looking heap of cardboard boxes on the floor of BCM McAlpine. But somehow we suspected that despite their unprepossessing exterior, these boxes contained gold. How right we were. Through Dr. Susan Berlin's endowment of her father Brian Berlin's literary papers, the 22 boxes gave rise to the Berlin Collection Committee, which was the impetus for the Bermudian Literature course, which found a home in the Brian Berlin Center for Research.
In medical news, new hope for ALS patients and a potential breakthrough for treating high blood pressure. Tarai Trott has a look at some of today's top medical headlines from CBS News.
A new pill to treat high blood pressure is showing promising results. Researchers in Australia said all 18 patients in their trial had their blood pressure drop in 4 weeks. The drug combines 4 common blood pressure medications. Doctors say larger studies are needed. Amphetamines such as speed, ice, and ecstasy can accelerate the aging of the heart. Research in the British Medical Journal shows prolonged use impacts men and women the same and can increase the risk of stroke or heart attack. And scientists in California have made a discovery that could eventually slow down ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. They've identified a molecule that targets a gene linked to the disease. Researchers hope their study leads to a new treatment. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories from CBS News.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for sharing your Friday evening with us, everyone. And be sure to tune into our radio stations, Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105, as we are running a Valentine's giveaway with some amazing prizes. Have a fantastic weekend. Good night.